The announcement landed like a thunderclap. Luis de la Fuente has summoned Álvaro Carreras to the Spain squad, and in one headline, the trajectory of a young Real Madrid player has suddenly escalated from promising to pivotal. What began as a handful of impressive minutes turned into a string of confident performances in Madrid's colours, and now the consistency has translated into the kind of recognition every player chases. International selection. Carreras' profile is simple to describe, difficult for opponents to solve. Quickness in transition, an ability to read the game before it happens, and the comfort to move the ball out of pressure zones without panic. Those traits are precisely what national coaches prize when they are planning not just for the next friendly, but for the tournaments on the horizon. Luis de la Fuente's decision feels deliberate rather than experimental. It reads as a strategic move that blends immediate need with longer-term planning. For Spain, who have been balancing experience with renewal, bringing in a player who can cover multiple defensive roles and carry the ball forward gives selection flexibility and tactical depth. For Carreras himself, the call is a career inflection point. He will inherit not only a jersey but heightened expectations, scrutiny, and a new set of responsibilities. How he handles the first training sessions and the run-up to a competitive debut will tell us more than any pre-season highlight reel ever could. At Real Madrid, the reaction is likely to be mixed but proud. Clubs understand that a young talent's elevation to international duty is both a badge of honour and a logistical challenge. Managers must plan for rotation, and teammates must absorb the temporary absence if Carreras becomes a regular feature of Spain match day. That dynamic creates opportunity for other squad members, but also forces tactical adjustments from the coaching staff. Do you maintain the system that showcased Carreras, or adapt to cover his role defensively and offensively? For Madrid fans, the emotional response will be immediate: celebration for homegrown success and a cautious awareness that the club must now manage his minutes carefully to keep development on track. Looking at the national team picture, this call hints at a generational nudge. Spain have, in recent cycles, mixed established leaders with emerging names, and Carreras' inclusion could accelerate a handover in the defensive core if he seizes the moment. International football magnifies small margins, and coaches bet on the mental makeup of a player as much as physical attributes. If Carreras shows composure under pressure, the coach's gamble will be validated in public. Media narratives will form quickly. Some will frame this as a bold youth first message from the coach. Others will question whether a player with comparatively limited international experience should be relied on in decisive fixtures. Both views will fuel debate, which is part of what makes this call so compelling for viewers. For Carreras, the practical next steps are clear. Integrate with the squad, adapt to the coach's tactical blueprint, and translate club form into international readiness. The first minutes on the pitch for Spain will be telling. Will he be used conservatively to ease him in, or will his versatility be deployed in a more aggressive role that matches the attacking instincts he has shown at club level? Off the field, this moment can change a player's market profile and confidence. Media attention grows, transfer speculation follows, and the narrative about his ceiling resets at a higher altitude. Ultimately, the story here is not only about one call-up, but about momentum. A young player's rise, a coach's willingness to trust youth, and the ripple effects that touch club strategy, national team identity, and fan expectation. Keep your eyes on Carreras in the next fixtures. How he responds to this opportunity will define whether this selection becomes a historic turning point or a promising footnote in a longer career. Either way, for now, the headlines belong to Luis de la Fuente's bold decision and the young man whose season just stepped into a far brighter light.